Attention viewers, Nerd needs you to subscribe to his channel to help him reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You will obey or you will be exterminated.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nerd here once again, and in today's video I am going to be looking at another Doctor Who Reddit leak. This one is in two parts, and this is allegedly discussing about the future for Doctor Who, and more specifically Season 14 or Series 14. I'm going to refer to it as a series because I look at the classic series as seasons and then New Who as series is. So yeah, with that being said, let's have a look at what this Reddit leak is saying. Alright, so this post is called Season 14, Believe It or Not. You can believe this or not, it's not up to you. I don't care one way or another, to be frank. I'm also not going to justify my sources or information to anyone. This is true, but you can either take my word for it or not. Again, up to you, and again, I don't care. So, quite literally, this person has a lot of front to them. You know, they're not going to, like, bat around the bush. You know, they're not going to create this story or try and explain their, you know, their background, whether they work at the BBC or work for a company that's associated with the production of Doctor Who or anything like that. They're not going to bother explaining that. They're just getting straight to the point. That's fair enough. I kind of respect that. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm still going to go into this with an open mind and take it with a pinch of salt, as always, that I do with any leaks. Not just including Reddit leaks, but anything else. But yeah, two parts of this. Let's start reading it. So, Sally Wainwright. Complete and utter rubbish, not sure where it came from. I know those wokies over on Gallifrey Base were dribbling on about a woman showrunner, and then this turned into a fantasy with Wainwright's name being thrown around with gay abandon. Now, I'm not 100% sure where the Sally Wainwright rumour actually came from. I remember the Council of Geeks reported on it, and they said that you know, obviously they don't normally make rumor or leak videos, but it was like quite an interesting little bit of information, and I do hope that we get someone like Sally Wainwright. I think that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, again, I'm not too familiar with Gallifrey Base either, so again, I generally don't know if the leaks over there are more credible or something like that. I generally don't know. But, yeah, we move on now. But it's not true. The BBC have no interest in taking her away from her other hit shows, stick her in charge of Doctor Who. That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. If she's good at creating original television shows and stuff like that, then yeah, the BBC aren't just going to take her away and then work on Doctor Who continuously years and years out. So that does kind of lead to some credence that, yeah, she probably won't be the new showrunner. The idea that Russell T Davies intervened to get her to take the job is just bollocks as well. Now, I haven't heard of that one before, but apparently him and Sally are friends or whatever. But yeah, I can't imagine he'd intervene in this process, because he left Doctor Who in 2010, over a decade ago. I don't think he has any say really on who the new showrunner would be. But anyway, bear with me as well. I've got still a little bit sick. Feel better, but yeah, still a little bit under the weather. So we move on. So every name I have seen so far is just figments of the imagination. Peter McTeague, no. Jane Spence, again, I've completely pronounced their name wrong. Very sorry. Christ, no. And Straczynski, Fennel, no, and no. I haven't heard anyone in that little list there except for Pete McTeague, but again, we'll just have to see about that. I've never heard their names have been mentioned before. Not one person has so far managed to name the new showrunner, and you know why? Because there isn't one. The BBC have completely fumbled the ball on this one. They knew for years that Chibnall, their great white hope, who failed miserably to do anything he promised them, was leaving, and they have completely cocked it up. They approached people, and every single one of them turned it down. So they found themselves now with Chibnall and Whittaker leaving, and no one lined up. They are all still looking, and I heard getting increasingly desperate. Chibnall and Whittaker have been asked to stay on, but would only agree to do the extra special episode. The BBC hope that spreading these specials across 2022 will give them more time to find someone new. Both of them are eager to move on to new projects and knew that even just delaying the announcement could affect that. It naturally follows if we have no showrunner that we have no new Doctor either. No auditions, no people tap for it. Until they have someone in charge who can plan for new seasons, it would be pointless trying to find a new face for the Doctor. And yes, that is true, because if you don't have a new showrunner, they are one of the... Well, I think they are the key deciding factor on who plays the Doctor. You know, it's their vision of the show. It's their vision of this long-lasting sci-fi franchise. This is their new lick of paint that they are going to give to the show. So, yeah, obviously, if there isn't a showrunner, then, well, quite simply, we won't have a new Doctor decided yet. So, maybe the 14th Doctor announcement will be next year, or something like that. Filming of the special finishes next month, latter part of September. We already know this already. As it stands, they plan to just film Whittaker's side of the regeneration and the 14th Doctor's face later. Yeah, that is the case. They've done that with quite a few regenerations, as they don't always have the successor not necessarily cast, or they could be cast, but they're not available to film on that day, so they just do it later on. So, yeah, this would make a lot of sense. It would be impossible to find a showrunner and then audition actors for the new Doctor by the end of September. Very true. It is a lengthy process, I would imagine. So if you're waiting in anticipation for an announcement of Raki Thakrar or Michael Sheen or Chris Marshall, you've got a long wait ahead of you. Yeah. If there is any of this true, and I know there's been a lot of theories out there that the reason why we haven't had a successor announcement pretty much straight away after Chibnall leaving, like we have had that done in the past, is because, there hasn't been anyone picked. That has been a worry of mine. Like, I am worried about that. I've stated that in the past, alongside a few others. But, I just think that we should, just try not to over-worry ourselves. They could still get a series out or something like that in 2023, but we don't know how that could happen. We don't know what the plan is for a showrunner and whatnot. It does look like to me, though, that the BBC actually haven't cast anyone for the new Doctor, and especially they haven't hired anyone to be the new showrunner. So, anyway, we move on. By the way, I use the term actor in its gender-neutral meaning here, but I do know the BBC are quite keen on having another female Doctor. Not the first time I've heard this one either. It would surprise me, and definitely, again, as I've stated before, I'm not really bothered about gender or anything for the Doctor. I just want them to play the part well. I want them to have good scripts. I want them to be able to show their true acting capabilities and just shine. That's all that I really want from Doctor Who. Good scripts, a good balance of shock and all the good elements, comedy, dark moments, etc. And just generally be a good actor or actress. That is something that I just want, really, But anyway, we move on. So it does depend however, on who the showrunner, when they are appointed, wants. So don't be surprised if it's a man. At this stage, there's no way to know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the BBC actually have any influence on the casting. It wouldn't surprise me if they actually do, and say if the showrunner wants a certain someone, and then the BBC are like, no, have this person, or trying to influence the showrunner to cast this person. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But anyway, we move on to the last bit of this leak, and then we move on to the second part. But there is a positive to take from this. The BBC are pretty determined that the Doctor will continue. They don't want the show to end, and despite their mishandling of this, they are very keen on having the Doctor on air in some form or other in 23 for the 60th anniversary. Whether that will be in the form of a series, though, remains to be seen. Again, it all depends on when and who they get as the showrunner. Very interesting first part of this leak. But let's have a look at what they've put for the second part. Alright, so here we go. I didn't believe this previously as the post was already getting long enough, but there has been some discussions at the BBC given the issue surrounding the search for a new showrunner and about possibly dropping the role and reverting it to a more traditional arrangement. At the moment, the showrunner combines the role of executive producer with head writer, with the post holder responsible for not just every aspect of the show, but also required to write multiple episodes each series and looking after other scripts as well. It's been known that this has been a highly stressful combination for a long time. Russell T Davies was nearly broken by it. And let's not forget, he also did Tortured in the Sarah Jane Adventures as well. So, yeah, he certainly had his work cut out for him. But the BBC felt it contributed to the success of the show, so they were reluctant to change it. But unhappiness with it has grown over the years. Yeah, I think that's probably why Stephen Moffat tried to leave originally. Series 9, the Christmas special, The Husbands of River Song, if I believe was meant to be his last episode. And then Series 10 happened, and then The Doctor Falls was meant to be his last episode, and then again he had to do Twice Upon a Time. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a fun one to think about. But anyway, let's continue reading. Since the issues with their attempt to find a new showrunner, this unhappiness has grown, and now there is a real feeling that it's time for a change. If this does happen, the basic idea is that the show will have an executive producer and a script editor style team appointed, not necessarily titles, and this format will not be a writer or contribute to the writing, while the latter will look after the script side of things, but again may not contribute to scripts, or not in a way that Russell T Davies, Moffat and Chibnall have all done. It's felt by many within BBC Studios that this is the best way to ensure a consistent and regular series without the tribulations of working with highly strung creatives. So essentially that last bit is that there'll be the role will be split in two, and it allows the top people to kind of have a balanced workload, and whilst also keeping the show at a good quality and making sure all the episodes kind of connect together in a good way. So yeah, let's discuss about this leak. So yeah, a very interesting leak there. There's certainly a lot to unpack, but essentially, I do believe personally that the BBC haven't hired someone to be the new showrunner of Doctor Who yet, because we would have had an announcement by now. And yes, I know there is a Series 13 happening within the next month. Well, after that, who knows? Who knows? I guess, yeah, that might contribute into why they haven't announced anything. But at the same time, people are concerned. Is there going to be, a new version of the show after the specials? And yes, of course there is. Of course there is. But at the same time, people want to know, or at least want to have a hint about how the show will progress further and kind of regenerate in itself with a new showrunner. And yeah, obviously people have started thinking, and again, if there is any truth behind this leak, that yeah, the BBC are trying to find someone that is good enough for Doctor Who and are able to work under the whole production style of Doctor Who. So yeah, in terms of how likely it is to be true though, I think it does kind of have a balance of that. Yeah, it's taken stuff that you can kind of see online and just kind of imagine yourself. This is sort of the stuff that I believe personally. I don't think that the BBC have actually got anyone yet, and I don't think there is going to be a dual announcement for the new showrunner and the new Doctor. I do think, I used to think that, but I do think the new showrunner will be announced first, and then we'll get a proper big announcement for the 14th Doctor. Because whilst I would argue that the new showrunner being announced is more important than the new Doctor, I think the BBC would probably argue otherwise, and yeah, we would have a big event for the new Doctor announcement. There was a whole show dedicated to the 12th Doctor announcement that was Peter Capaldi, and then for Wimbledon we had a segment for where Jodie Whittaker was announced to be the new Doctor. So yeah, Anyway, I am going to wrap up this video here. If you are new around here, be sure to subscribe for more nerdy content as we are on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and I would love to reach that by the end of the year. But with that being said, thank you very much for supporting the channel as always, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.